Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Laura and I am the illustrator and creator behind Laura Jane Illustrations on Instagram, where I aim to create content that helps you feel good about you. Today we're going to be talking about content and community. So one of the very common questions that I get on Instagram is, how did I grow my following or my audience so quickly? What some people might not realize is that the audience that I have grown was grown over time with a lot of work put into it behind the scenes. When I'm talking about community, I'm talking about the percentage of those who follow me that are really engaged with the work that I do. Yeah, just feel like they're a part of what I'm creating as opposed to just a spectator to what I'm creating. Today I'm going to share with you 5 things that I've learned about growing a community on social media. I hope that these will help you as you grow to kind of keep community at the center of what you're doing and not just be a person who tries to fill the social media space. So the first important lesson is that it takes time. Nobody is an overnight success on social media. Even people who create something viral or go viral and maybe gain a lot of an audience in a certain space of time, there's really no such thing as an overnight success. Building a community takes time and it takes consistency, and you really have to create the kind of content that you would like your ideal audience to engage with, even when your ideal audience isn't there yet. Be patient, but also be consistent and put out the kind of work that you would like to see. Look at your page and think, would I like to follow this? And if I wouldn't, would that mean that my ideal audience member would like to follow it? So the second thing that I learned is it takes patience and work. And that's kind of following on from what I just said in terms of sometimes you have to create the content before the audience shows up. And I think that that's kind of an obvious thing as well, because none of us really feel comfortable clicking follow on a page where there isn't a lot of content yet, because we don't see what that person has established because they haven't established it yet. The point is that you have to be patient and not expect that your audience is just going to show up after you've posted 3 or 6 reels or posts on your page, or even if you already have a lot there. It's when you really establish your voice that you're going to see people starting to show up. And in order for you to establish that voice, you have to figure it out yourself first. And that comes from sharing and creating, practicing in public, and getting a feel for what you want to do. Lesson number 3 is authenticity. I'm sure you've heard this word a million times when it comes to content creation, and it was definitely a word that I heard again and again and again before I started Laura Jane Illustrations, but it was definitely a word I never really absorbed the full meaning of. Authenticity means being yourself. Yes, we're always going to filter on social media and put our best foot forward, but authenticity means creating content that is genuine to who you are, showing up in your space as yourself rather than the version that you think people will want to see. Just in the same way as when we're genuine in our own lives, we attract and create connections with people that are genuine. But what we gain when we are authentic is authentic followers, and we really create a community as opposed to just a number of followers. The fourth thing that I have learned in terms of growing a community is to create value. We engage with content, I think, where we can learn something. We follow people who have skills that we don't have so we can learn from them. So when you're creating your content, you do want to create value for your audience. What can they gain from this? Is it going to be something that helps them feel good about themselves? Is it a piece of information that's going to help them learn something? Is it a tutorial that's going to guide them through something? Content needs to be valuable. You don't want to be just filling the space or posting X amount of times a day because that's what you think the algorithm wants. You want to create content not because it's what the algorithm wants, but it's because it's what your audience wants, and it's because it's valuable. The other thing about creating content that's valuable for your community is that they're more likely to share it if they've gained something from it than if they don't. Give your audience something valuable. Give them a reason to keep coming back to your space. Bring your value to the space. What can you give us that someone else isn't giving us just yet? And the final, and maybe even the most important lesson that I've learned growing a community is to be a part of the community. When you respond to your DMs and engage with your comments, you're really engaging with real people. And when you engage with real people, then they connect with you on a deeper level, and they want to come back. The same way in that if a creator has ever responded to your DM, you feel like, yeah, I have a connection with this person. I'm gonna keep coming back to their space. So while this is not a toolkit on how to grow your audience to however many you want it to be, it is a toolkit to growing a community. In order to really get a community that's going to come back to us despite whether or not the algorithm puts our content in their feeds, we need to connect with each other on a human level. And creating that human connection comes from authenticity, giving each other value, and really being a part of your own community. If you found this video helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel and turn on that notifications bell if you want to get a reminder when new videos arrive on this space. If you have any questions for me about content creation or growing a community, make sure you leave them down below. I'll do my best to answer them. But as I said before, there is really no shortcut way to creating an audience on any social media space. It's all down to who you are as a person and how genuine you are in creating what you share. That's all from me today, and I'll see you again soon.